The courtroom didn't erupt in chaos by accident. Judge Patricia Moreland slammed her gavel once, twice, 3 times, not to restore order, but to punctuate her own rage. She pointed directly at the young black attorney standing calmly at the defense table and screamed words that would end her career. "You people don't belong in my courtroom. You're here because of quotas, not qualifications. Bailiff, remove this affirmative action experiment before she wastes more of my time." The gallery gasped. Phones rose. Cameras captured everything. But Maya Thornton didn't move. She didn't flinch. She didn't even blink. Because the woman in the black robe hurling slurs from the bench had no idea she was about to be judged by someone with far more power than a gavel could ever grant. Maya Thornton had walked into Riverside County Courthouse 3 weeks earlier wearing a bargain suit and carrying a worn briefcase that screamed public defender. Everything about her appearance said powerless. That was intentional. She wanted to see how the system treated those it believed couldn't fight back. Her supposed supervisor, Judge Moreland, was a legend, legendary for her conviction rate, her tough sentences, and her barely concealed contempt for anyone who didn't look like her country club. Maya's assignment was simple: shadow the judge, observe court proceedings, learn the system. But Maya wasn't there to learn. She was there to document. Day 1, Judge Moreland interrupted Maya's introduction to the court staff. "We'll see how long you last. Most of you diversity hires quit before the real work starts. Don't expect special treatment just because someone checked a box to get you here." The clerks exchanged uncomfortable glances but said nothing. This was normal. Maya smiled politely. "I'm here to learn, Your Honor." "Good. Then start by getting me coffee. 2 sugars. And don't mess it up." Maya was a federal judge. She'd been appointed to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals 2 years prior, one of the youngest federal judges in history. But she was currently on a classified assignment from the Department of Justice, investigating systemic racism and corruption in local courts. Riverside County had been flagged for years. Complaints piled up. Cases overturned on appeal. But internal investigations went nowhere because judges protected judges. So Maya volunteered to go undercover. For 3 weeks, she watched Judge Moreland humiliate defendants, dismiss valid motions without reading them, and show blatant favoritism based on race and wealth. She watched public defenders get silenced, witnesses get bullied, and families get devastated by sentences that didn't match the crimes. Maya documented everything. Recorded conversations. Time-stamped rulings. Built an airtight case. But she needed one final piece, proof that Moreland's behavior wasn't just incompetence, it was deliberate, malicious, and rooted in bigotry that violated judicial ethics and constitutional rights. So Maya waited for the judge to reveal herself completely. It happened during a routine hearing. A young Latina mother was facing eviction after falling behind on rent due to medical bills. The landlord's attorney was aggressive, mocking, dismissive. The woman tried to explain, voice shaking, that she had the money now and just needed 1 more week. Judge Moreland cut her off. "I don't care about your sob story. You people always have excuses. Pay your debts or face consequences." Eviction granted. Next case. The woman burst into tears. Her children, sitting in the gallery, clung to each other. Maya felt her jaw tighten, but she stayed silent. Not yet. Then came the case that would detonate everything. A young black man named Terrence Williams stood accused of a misdemeanor, disorderly conduct during a protest. The evidence was thin. The arresting officer's report was contradictory. Any competent judge would dismiss it. But Judge Moreland saw an opportunity. "Mr. Williams," she sneered, "you and your friends think you can disrupt society without consequences? I'm sentencing you to 6 months in county jail. Maybe that'll teach you respect." His public defender, a tired woman named Sandra, shot to her feet. "Your Honor, that sentence is wildly disproportionate for a first-time misdemeanor. Sit down, counselor, before I hold you in contempt." Sandra hesitated, then sat. Terrence's mother screamed from the gallery. "He didn't do anything. This is wrong." Judge Moreland's eyes gleamed with cruelty. "One more outburst and I'll have you arrested too. Bailiff, remove her." Security moved toward the sobbing woman. That's when Maya stood. "Your Honor," Maya said, voice calm but firm, "I'd like to file a motion to reconsider." The courtroom froze. Judge Moreland's head swiveled slowly, dangerously. "Excuse me? A motion to reconsider the sentence. It violates the 8th Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment for a nonviolent misdemeanor." Laughter rippled through the prosecution's table. Even the bailiff smirked. Judge Moreland's face turned red. "You're a shadow observer. You have no authority to file anything." Maya reached into her briefcase and pulled out a document. "Actually, Your Honor, I do." She walked forward and placed it on the bench. Judge Moreland snatched it, scanned the first line, and her face drained of color. "This is a federal judicial credential," Maya finished. "I'm Judge Maya Thornton, Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And for the past 3 weeks, I've been conducting an investigation into your courtroom under the authority of the Department of Justice." The room exploded. Judge Moreland's hands shook. "This is entrapment." "No," Maya corrected. "This is accountability." She turned to the bailiff. "Please contact the U.S. Marshals. They're waiting outside." Sandra, the public defender, stared in disbelief. Terrence's mother covered her mouth, tears streaming. Maya addressed the courtroom. "Every ruling, every statement, every act of bias committed in this courtroom over the past 3 weeks has been recorded and documented. Judge Moreland, you are hereby suspended pending a formal investigation by the Judicial Conduct Commission. Your cases will be reviewed. Your sentences will be re-examined. And those you've harmed will have their day in real court." Judge Moreland stood, shaking with rage. "You can't do this. I have connections. I'll have your job." Maya's voice was ice. "You have nothing. Your connections can't save you from your own words." She tapped her tablet. The courtroom's video screen flickered to life. Clip after clip played, Judge Moreland using racial slurs in chambers, bragging to colleagues about keeping certain people in their place, laughing about sending defendants to jail because they probably deserve it anyway. The gallery watched in stunned silence. When the final clip ended, Judge Moreland telling a clerk, "I don't care if the law says otherwise, I run this courtroom and I'll do what I want." The room erupted in shouts. U.S. Marshals entered. Judge Moreland backed away. "You people don't understand, I was doing my job." Maya stepped closer. "Your job was to uphold justice. Instead, you weaponized it." The Marshals escorted her out, still screaming about lawsuits and conspiracies. Sandra approached Maya, eyes wet. "Thank you. I've been trying to report her for years, but no one would listen." Maya nodded. "They'll listen now?" Terrence's mother rushed over and hugged Maya so tightly she could barely breathe. "You saved my son." Maya gently pulled back. "He saved himself by standing up. I just made sure the system heard him." Over the next hour, Maya addressed everyone in the courtroom whose cases had been tainted by Moreland's bias. She assigned a special master to review every ruling from the past 5 years. Sentences were stayed. Evictions were paused. Families were given hope. As the courtroom slowly emptied, Sandra lingered. "What happens now?" Maya gathered her files. "Now we rebuild. We train judges properly. We hold them accountable. We remind everyone that justice isn't a privilege, it's a right." Sandra smiled for the first time in months. "And you?" Maya glanced at the empty bench. "I go back to my real courtroom. But I'll be watching." She walked out into the hallway where dozens of people waited, defendants Moreland had wronged, families she'd torn apart, lawyers she'd silenced. They applauded. Maya didn't stop. She kept walking, head high, knowing that every person in that hallway would remember the day the system finally worked for them instead of against them. Outside, a reporter shouted, "Judge Thornton. What message do you want to send?" Maya paused. Turned. Looked directly into the camera. Power without accountability is tyranny. And tyranny, no matter how long it lasts, always falls. She walked to her car, removed her bargain suit jacket, and drove away. Back at the courthouse, workers were already removing Judge Moreland's nameplate from the bench. Justice had been served. And it tasted like vindication. 3 months later, Maya stood before a congressional committee investigating judicial corruption nationwide. Her undercover operation had sparked a movement. 12 judges had been suspended. Hundreds of cases were under review. Legislation was being drafted. A senator asked, "Judge Thornton, was it worth the risk? Going undercover, hiding your identity, enduring that treatment?" Maya didn't hesitate. Every person who suffers injustice deserves someone willing to risk everything to expose it. "I'd do it again." The hearing room erupted in applause. That night, Maya received an email from Terrence Williams. He'd been accepted to law school. The subject line read, "Thank you for showing me what justice looks like." Maya smiled, closed her laptop, and looked out at the city lights. Somewhere out there, someone was being mistreated by someone in power. and Maya Thornton would be ready.